If the mayor wins the election's coming. A couple more months. It's almost here. I'm glad y'all watching. I appreciate y'all. I'll be streaming again tomorrow, yes. I've been really busy. I mean, I'm trying to keep up with y'all. I'm trying. I've been really busy in my life. I've been taking care of a lot of things that have been going on, right? Trying to deal with every single issue and problem that my city's facing. And believe me, there's a lot of things that are happening. What you gotta understand is I'm taking on the entire fucking machine, right? I'm not even worried. I'm taking on the entire fucking machine. I got the biggest fan base in the world. I mean, my TikTok blew up so much. I got 850 likes, 200 comments, 9,000 views. That video I posted was saying Donald Trump should save Canada. And that video blew up my TikTok for an obvious reason. I appreciate the love and support. Thank you very much. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, y'all get on TikTok. The government has silenced my Instagram, right? Now my TikTok still gets good numbers, right? But my Instagram, yeah, it's silenced. We live in a weak society. I mean, after what happened in Montreal, the reason why Quebec is going for a referendum. But ladies and gentlemen, that's three provinces in Canada: Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Quebec. And the other reason why is because they all see what's going on. Windsor is going to not be a part of Canada anymore. The same in Quebec, the same in Saskatchewan, the same in Alberta. They all want to leave, right? There's a reason why these three provinces want to leave. They are sick and tired of what's happening. And it's good to see it. Finally, people are standing up. That's the only way we're going to win, 100%. Well, you know what? What's going on with our country is absolutely sickening, right? As we speak, we're being sold. So that's where the future of our country is going. I mean, we already knew this was going to happen at some point, right? We already knew it, but that's how it works, right? That's how it works, right? Basically, ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens. when you have a weak society, right? People don't want to say it like this, they don't want to hear it. But when society is so weak, where you allow a mass shooter to go and shoot at random people, and nobody has a chance to stop this guy while he's doing the act, because we don't have gun rights in this country, because Canada doesn't believe in someone protecting their life. So that means if a criminal decides to do something, try to take your vehicle, try to take your money, and you're forced to give it up, you can't defend yourself. You can't defend what it's yours. It's because of a weak government in a weak society. This needs to change ASAP. But you got all these problems that are happening in the modern world in our society. Canada is not like this, and it should not be like this, right? But you know what? It's sad. At one point, Canada, look, this country is amazing, all right? It's the government. What they have done. And ladies and gentlemen, we are sick of it, all right? The people of Canada are sick of the government. And you can't blame them. 100%. You got a point when you say that the government has destroyed society. Yeah, they have. And they continue to do it. I think that's the main problem with a weak world, right? Society's too soft, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, we see how bad things have gotten out there. And let's not forget, with an endless amount of crime happens, cities get destroyed. Families are targeted. Bad things happen when we live in a weak society. Believe me, Windsor will be great again when I'm there. Well, the election's coming. The election's coming. I mean, the amount of support that I've been getting on, especially on certain spots, but like TikTok, man, my God, and my numbers on there are absolutely stunning. Like for some reason, I blow up on TikTok, right? Instagram censors me, YouTube shadow bans me. I'm not saying TikTok's a good app at all, because it's spyware and things like that. But for some reason, my content seems to get further than it should for what I speak on, right? And again, they don't censor my stuff. Except for that one video I posted where someone had a fuck Trudeau flag on the back of their vehicle, and I recorded the flag on it, and I titled the video "All of Canada Agrees." That got censored. Yeah, I posted some controversial stuff. If you want to call it that, I mean, it's freedom of speech, but freedom of speech means, okay, people don't understand the difference, okay? Freedom of speech means you have the right to have your opinion on something, and you have the right to speak on a certain subject. That's what freedom of speech means, all right? That doesn't mean you can go and just stand in front of somebody and yell up in their face, all right? That's called threatening, all right? There's a difference. And see, people don't understand that, right? People think, oh, man, I have this thing called freedom of speech, and I can just walk up in front of someone and just shout in their face. That's not how it works, all right? They're misinterpreting what it is. Freedom of speech means I can write a song and I can depict what I want in the song, okay? That's freedom of speech. Freedom of speech means I can say whatever joke I want and nothing will happen because of it. That's freedom of speech. Freedom of speech means I can have my own opinion on a certain thing that happened, right? Now, when you go and you just yell in somebody's face and threaten them, that's not freedom of speech. That's called threats. But you see, people do not understand the difference, right? And this is the problem with modern society. These people out here, Antifa, to see what happens to them is well deserved. And people like me have been waiting a long time to see them get what they had coming. Those people are pure evil. Some of the stuff those people have done is just pure evil. And they're domestic terrorists. They've always been. They've done some twisted things. Twisted. Ladies and gentlemen, when you think about it, the incredible job that ICE does compared to other police forces in the world, right? Now, like I said before, I'll say it again. Every country has border laws. Every country has border rules, which means you can't stay there for a certain amount of time. You're kicked out of the country after, right? Now, if North America does it, people have problems with that for some odd reason. But when countries like Japan or China or Korea or all the rest of them do it, does anybody care? No. Russia has the same rule too, right? You can't stay in Russia for more than a month. You stay in Russia more than a month, they're going to kick you out. Because one, you don't have citizenship. Two, you don't have family. And three, you stay there for a vacation. You're not staying there for a business trip, which could take 3 to 6 months. You're on a vacation. If you're doing what other people are doing, like getting a visa, going into college, or going to a place like that, and trying to stay there with a fraud, which is corruption, the government will catch on and they will kick you out of the country. The same what America's doing. But for some reason, people get mad if it's America, if it's Canada, any of the countries that have right or left in it. These people get mad for some reason, right, on the left. But they don't understand that every single country in the world enforces their border, right? Every country has a law enforcing their border for a reason. Because they don't want people staying there longer and taking advantage of their system that their people work for. Because that is a problem, right? When somebody is making 5 times the amount of money a month that someone that works multiple hours makes, that's a serious problem. And you know what? That is the main issue when it comes to illegals, right? People say that, oh, it's a problem with immigrants. No, it's not a problem with immigrants. It's a problem with the ones that are illegal, right? Because every country, to go there, you have to go through a process, right? You have to go to get citizenship. You have to go through a process in every single country, right? So why when it comes to Canada or America to go through a processing, oh, that's racist or reference? No, it's called respect the country, respect the culture, pay taxes, and live your life like everybody else. And guess what? You're a citizen of that country, right? But for some reason, people say that, oh, they're just going after all immigrants. No, they're going after the ones that are there illegally. The ones that went there legally, they're still there. If you're illegal, they're going after you. It's that simple. And for some reason, people think that's racist. My God, you know, when Joe Biden and Barack Obama were president, I mean, there was ICE police, right? Did you guys hear any protests? Did y'all see any riots that were happening? Did you see any protests or riots? No, no. The reason why is because the Trump administration's in right now, and people that are haters, this is what they do, right? Because there's so many people that hate on Trump, and Trump inspired me to run for mayor of Windsor. But the point I want to make, ladies and gentlemen, is there's so many people that will hate on somebody that they will dislike the same thing that another president did before that, right? That is the problem with the left. The left is so mentally deranged. They're mentally ill. And this is why I say we have to open a sane asylums to lock some of the left up. Because these people are literally going and shooting at other civilians, innocent people. They are literally going targeting violence, bro. They are literally going and jumping people. The left is insane. And they should be locked up because they are inciting violence. They are the ones that are trying to kill people. Nobody on the right tries to kill anybody. People on the right just want to have a common sense, right? A speech, a talk, right? But the left doesn't want that. The left wants violence and violence and violence. And this is the problem with the left. No matter if it's Democrats, no matter if it's liberals. This is what they do. They're all about violence. They're all about creating more problems. And we need to get rid of the left. All right? The left needs to stop doing what they do. Because if they don't, they'll be locked up for what they do. You can't go and target people because you don't agree with them. All right? Political violence should never be the answer. That should never be the answer of society. People that are that driven, it's like sports. Right? Like, why can't y'all just watch a sport game and just enjoy it? Right? It's always got to be like, oh, I'm going to fight you. I mean, that's fucking ridiculous. That's the same thing with, like, when it comes to politics, right? When someone fights over politics, it's the same thing when it comes to, like, fucking sports. It's like, that's so fucking ridiculous. And that's why I say, you know what, sometimes I like stuff, man, but when people are so divided over stuff, I think that's the main problem with the world, right? And when I talk about so divided, I mean, these are the type of people that will go and try to kill us, right? I mean, I've already had an assassination attempt on my life, and I posted about it. You can watch that video. A woman tried to poison me in a Tim Hortons. And thank God I survived it, but there was poison that was found inside my blood. It wasn't a whole lot of poison, it was only a little bit, but still, it was enough where it could have done something, and my body fought against it. And thank God my body survived that. But someone literally tried to poison me. And you know what? That was one of the scariest situations that I've been through in my life. I had Tim words. This is the problem when you have your opinion and somebody disagrees with it. Because it doesn't matter what side you're on, the left is always about the violence, right? I mean, like I said, when was the last time a conservative or Republican did something in the act of violence? Also, if Malcolm X was alive in today's world, he'd be a Make America Great Again. And do you want to know why? Because Malcolm X warned us about the white liberals. He said it. The white liberals are the death to society. Malcolm X said it himself. So if Malcolm X was alive in today's world, he'd 100% be a Make America Great Again. And this is why we need stronger activists, stronger leadership. Because the real men, the real women, the patriots, the ones that love what they represent, the ones that want better in the world, they will stand up. They will fight. The fake ones, the globalists, the ones that get paid to lie to the public. Drew Dawkins is especially one of those. I mean, Dawkins has lied on so many occasions, ladies and gentlemen. Same as Mark Carney, the cannibal himself. Mark Carney is absolutely disgusting. He has literally destroyed Canada. Him and Justin Trudeau are who you blame for what Canada looks like. When Stephen Harper was Prime Minister of Canada, the Canadian dollar was worth 98 cents. Think about that, ladies and gentlemen, for a second. Stephen Harper, when he was Prime Minister of Canada, our dollar was worth 98 cents. With Mark Carney as Prime Minister of Canada, our dollar is worth 70 cents. 70 cents. Mark Carney has single-handedly destroyed Canada. Our dollar, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, 98 cents to 70 cents. In a matter of 11 years. And you know why? Because our government failed. They sold us off to Brookfield assets. And now Canada is going to become a communist nation where the government controls what you say. They control what's on the media. They control how you protect your life. They control what you eat, what you drink. They control how much money you make. They take half your money in taxes from what you work with. This is the problem with our government. It's literally $2,000 for a one-bedroom apartment in Canada. The cheapest insurance plan for your car in Canada is $500. You heard me right, $500. You know, one of my best friends, known him for a long time, played together on PlayStation, Grand Theft Auto. His name's Tony. Lives up in New York. Been friends for almost 12 years. Not PlayStation, all that, but he told me in New York that they pay 5 cents on the dollar. In New York. Over here in Ontario, in Canada, we pay 13 cents on the dollar. So in Ontario, Canada, we're literally paying almost 3 times the amount of tax on the dollar. That is absolutely sad. And you know why? It's because of the government. Because the government's trash. That's why. The government cannot do their job. And the reason why I'm in America is because Canada is going through way too many problems. Like I said, our dollar is at 70 fucking cents. Ladies and gentlemen, like let's just be real here, all right? 70 cents, bro. Think about that. Our dollar is worth 70 cents. That's the reason why I say Canada and America have to work together. That's the reason why I say the American dollar has become the new currency of Canada. Believe me, I love Canada a lot. Now, people say, oh, why do you want Canada and America to do this and all this? The main reason why I want Canada and America to join forces is because I care about the future of Canada. And I know Canada is going to have a very hard time trying to restore its own order. Because realistically, Canada does not have enough people to restore all the problems that we're facing. We only have just over 40 million. All right, we have the same population as California. Imagine California trying to fix the rest of America. All right? That's basically what we're saying about 40 million people in Canada fixing our country. Canada needs America to help it. And the reason why I say that is because when you look at Canada, when it hits 2030, the dollar is most likely going to be worth 65 or less than that. That is sad, ladies and gentlemen. Our dollar is being destroyed as we speak. And like I said, look what happened in the United Kingdom. Kirk Starmer, right? Their prime minister. What happened to him? He's out of office. You know what? Because the American government pressured him. Elon Musk pressured him. That's why he's out of office. The same thing needs to happen to Mark Carney. If Canada wants Pierre Poilievre in office, then that's the only way we're going to get someone like Pierre Poilievre in office. We have to get our prime minister out. I mean, look what happened in the United Kingdom. What America did. America has to help Canada with that. And believe me, ladies and gentlemen, when that does happen, and America saves Canada, Canada will be a lot better. Because Canada, like I said, the problems that we are facing, Canada's struggling. All right? We're struggling really bad. And to be honest, it's sad to see because we are such a beautiful country. I mean, Canada is astonishingly beautiful, right? But when you think about the problems that we are facing and how our dollar is collapsing, Canada cannot do to make it better. I mean, just think about this, ladies and gentlemen. The amount of oil that Alberta has, you'd probably have to times 5 that to make the money that Canada has to make to get back to what it once was. This is the reason why I say Canada and America have to work together. America has the strongest dollar in the whole world. Out of the whole world, the American dollar is worth the most out of any other currency. This is the reason why I say Canada and America have to work together. Because Canada cannot do on its own. We don't have enough people. Our landmass is too massive, and we don't have enough people to occupy the entire thing. I mean, Canada has so many problems all over its coast, right? In each spot, it has problems, and it can't fix itself because there's not enough people to deal with it. America is the only thing that's going to save Canada. When it comes to crime, when it comes to families being able to protect their lives, because again, Canada does not allow their citizens to use guns to protect their lives. So families can get home invaded, and they can't stop the people that are home invading them. This is the reason why I say America is number one. There's a reason why every immigrant in the world wants to go to America. There's a reason for that. Because America is the best country in the world. I mean, let's be honest. In every aspect, America is the best. I mean, they got everything. They got the Rocky Mountains with snow there. They got nice sunshine beaches like Paradise. They got busy mega cities. I mean, they got the county area. America literally has every aspect of life there. All right? You can find every aspect of life in America. And that's why I say when you with Canada. Because when you think about what Canada's going through, I mean, it's just absolutely sickening to see how bad this country is being destroyed. A communist dictator, Mark Carney, a Marxist. That's a Marxist, man. Completely destroyed Canada. You know, this happens when you have a bad government that does not care for its people. And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, the only thing that's going to fix Canada is America. We need America more than ever for a reason. Because Canada is suffering. Our dollar is only worth 70 cents, ladies and gentlemen. Again, 70 cents. While the American dollar keeps rising, the Canadian dollar keeps falling. There's a reason. Because our government does not know what they're doing. Mark Carney and Justin Trudeau are the ones you blame. Like I said, when Stephen Harper was Prime Minister, the Canadian dollar was worth 98 cents. Stephen Harper was the best leader Canada ever had. I don't care what anybody has to say. Stephen Harper was the best leader Canada ever had. If Stephen Harper was running Canada still, Canada would be a million times better than where it's at. It would. The reason why Canada is so bad is because our government does not know what it's doing. And ladies and gentlemen, like I said, when it comes to economy, when it comes to growth, when it comes to your resources, when it comes to building back your country, Canada cannot do any of this because, again, we don't have enough people. People have to understand, yes, we all love Canada. I have albums based off Canada. I have songs based off Canada. So I love Canada a lot. But when you think about the aspects of Canada and how bad it's struggling, the only thing that's really going to save it's America. And it's the reason why I say the 51st state is needed. And that's something I've been advocating for a long time. And I'm going to continue to do that. And when I'm mayor of Windsor, I'll advocate for the 51st state. And there's a reason. Because Canada is suffering. And people have to understand, our country can't do on its own. We don't have enough people. Our dollar's collapsing. 70 cents. We don't have jobs. We don't have economic growth. We're losing out in tourism. There's drugs all over the place. The housing market's insane. We have the highest inflation out of the G7. All right? And let's not forget, ladies and gentlemen, Canada is the only country that's in a recession out of the G7. Ladies and gentlemen, let's not forget that. Just think about it for a minute. The whole G7, ladies and gentlemen, and we're in a recession. You blame the government for what happened. Because like I said, ladies and gentlemen, Canada is a very beautiful country. But after what the government did to it, it's sad to see it. I'm going to continue the stream over here, so give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. But like I said, when you think about it, man, our government has single-handedly destroyed Canada, right? And nobody's going to talk about it, right? Nobody's going to say anything. People are going to be like, oh, I don't know what you're saying, Tristan. Oh, Tristan, you shouldn't talk about that kind of stuff. Now, look, we're sick and tired of seeing Canada like this, right? I'm not the only one, ladies and gentlemen. There's other people that want better in Canada. And the reason why people want better is because when you look at the problems that we're facing, it's sad. It really is. America is the only thing that's going to save Canada. Give me 1 second. Yeah, when I say that, I mean America and Canada have to work together because Canada is suffering at significant numbers. Canada needs America. And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, when you think about all the problems that we have been facing in Canada, it's sickening. Our government has lied to us. They have controlled the public. They took away our right of self defense. That's a God given right to the human, is to protect your life when you're in danger, right? But our government decided to take that away from us because our government is corrupt. Mark Carney, Justin Trudeau, they're all corrupt, right? Christina Freeland. Christina Freeland is absolutely corrupt. The amount of things these politicians have done. I mean, Christina Freeland looks like a witch, right? She looks like a witch on a broken broomstick, all right? And I remember I made a joke about her saying that a long time ago. But ladies and gentlemen, let's understand, Canada needs a better future because all of us can't do, right? We can't get ahead in Canada. I mean, we're paying some of the most expensivest prices we paid, right? And like I said, when Stephen Harper was leader, Canada was amazing. But when it comes to economic growth, Canada's struggling. And there's a reason why I said it, ladies and gentlemen. America and Canada need to work together because Canada cannot do on its own. Quebec wants a referendum. Alberta wants a referendum. And Saskatchewan. They all want a referendum for a reason. And you know why? Because they see the problems going on and they don't want to suffer anymore. Same thing is going on with the rest of the world right now, right? You look at United Kingdom. I mean, they're fighting against an invasion, right? And the people that are there are literally taunting the citizens and mocking them, right? This is the problem. This is a serious problem. This is the reason why America is going to the United Kingdom, and they're going to change the landscape of it. The reason why is because United Kingdom has been suffering. Elon Musk is doing what he can to help, and this is the reason why United Kingdom needs it. Tommy Robinson has been fighting, and you see what's going on over there. That one dude tried to behead somebody. You remember that? That one guy tried to behead somebody. I mean, this is a serious problem, right? There's women that are being sexually assaulted in the United Kingdom, and I've seen videos of men standing up for the women out there, bro. Right? Like they got up in there, man. Patriots, dog. Because the United Kingdom is facing a lot of problems, right? And America is going to restore the United Kingdom. They're going to restore order in the United Kingdom. Same thing with Canada. America needs to restore order with Canada because Canada is suffering really bad with this leader, right? So-called leader, Cannibal Carney. The guy has done absolutely nothing for Canada. The guy has failed so miserably. His job is so laughable, right? I mean, you can name every mistake in the book. The guy literally said, "I'm going to take care of the problems that we're facing with debt." Yet the debt has went up, tripled, right? The same thing with, "Oh, well, I'm going to create more and more jobs." Yet more companies have left, and I mean a lot of companies that have left Canada thanks to Mark Carney's incredible ideas, right? Mark Carney is literally a fucking failure. The guy is literally a joke. There is nothing about this guy that anybody can take serious. He looks like a creep. I mean, look at him. He looks like a goddamn cannibal. The way his neck sticks out like this, guy looks like a creepy son of a bitch. And I don't know how he's the leader of Canada. I mean, he's an absolute fraud. He's a sleazebag. And the funniest thing is, Mark Carney was hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein, right? Ghislaine Maxwell, Mark Carney was partying with Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. Look it up. Mark Carney is in the Epstein files. And yet, did we hear anything about Mark Carney in the news? No, we didn't. Right? No. You know why, ladies and gentlemen? Because over here, there's some kind of corruption going on where the government pays the news media, right? That's why you didn't hear nothing about Mark Carney in the Epstein files. But when you look it up, his name pops up in there a lot of times. That's kind of strange, right? I mean, he's got pictures with Jeffrey Epstein, Mark Carney, but does the government of Canada ever get questioned for that? No. Does the news media say anything about that? No. What the news media does is they just blame America for every single thing, right? The Canadian news media doesn't even hold their own government accountable. No. They'll blame another country for all their problems that they're suffering from, right? Throwing the shoe on the other foot. Oh, it's just someone else's problem. Yeah, Canada has the highest inflation out of the G7, right? Canada pays 7.2% of inflation out of the whole G7, but that's just someone else's fault, right? You got to be kidding. Canada's losing multiple companies, and they're going to other countries and like, oh man, that's just someone else's fault, man. No, no, it's the government of Canada's fault why our country looks like this. All right, this government, this liberal government, is an absolute failure. All right, the job they have done is absolutely sickening. They can't do a single thing to improve Canada. Canada is collapsing, right, and it's sad. It's like the United Kingdom. I mean, we can all see what's happened with the United Kingdom, right? And like I said, there's a reason why America is going to restore order in the United Kingdom because the United Kingdom is suffering, and it's sad to say it. It really is. The United Kingdom is a very beautiful spot, and I love it. I love the United Kingdom a lot. Tommy Robinson, he's fighting. He's fighting with everything he's got. And ladies and gentlemen, this is what it takes, right? This is what it takes to win your country back, to win your culture back, to win your communities, to win your cities, to win your way of life back. You got to fight, fight, fight. Because you know what? Your culture is your culture, right? No matter where you come from, if you want to represent that culture, go live there and represent it, right? Don't go somewhere else and try to flood it on other people, right? Like, that's how it shouldn't be. What it should be is, if you're gonna come to somewhere, adapt to the way of life and show what it is. But no, there's people that come here and they just take advantage of our system. Yeah, there's a lot of people that come here and do that. A lot of people that come here will take advantage of our system, and it's sad, right? I mean, people that worked their asses off for 50 years, right? Retired people that have worked so long are getting their pensions cut, right? The pension used to be $2,400 a month in Canada, right? They're talking about making the pension 1,800, from 2,400 to 1,800 for old people. And do you know why they're going to do that? Because they want to give that money to immigrant families, not citizen families. No, immigrant families. Man, that's pretty fucked up, isn't it? Taking money from the old age pension of citizens that work for 50 years to give it to immigrant families. Damn, Canada. This is the reason why you need America. Because America will save Canada. When we become the 51st state, Canada will be great again. Canada will be the best country it's ever been in a long time when America comes rolling through. Because when you think about the dollar in our country, when you think about the crime in our country, when you think about the chaos, the mass shooting that just happened in Montreal, right? And again, no citizen was able to stop the mass shooter for a reason, because we're not allowed to conceal carry in public. And I feel like this is the reason why we should be allowed to conceal carry, is because when you have a mass shooter out there, the police are going to take at least 5 to 10 minutes to get there. All right. If this guy is really good at what he does, he might be able to kill multiple people in that time. If somebody has a gun, or if multiple people have a gun on them and they're legally carrying it, right? Legal can carry, then they can shoot the mass shooter, right? It's that easy. You bust out your gun, you get a back shot on the mass shooter, and it's over, right? And you're the hero. You saved everybody's life in that store, that airport, that mall, wherever you're at, right? You're considered the hero. But when you have a society where citizens cannot carry in public, this is the problem. Because anybody that wants to do a heinous act knows that citizens will not be able to defend themselves. So anybody that wants to do something fucked up in Canada or the United Kingdom, they already know there's no laws where citizens can walk around with a gun in their waist to carry, right? For some reason, we don't have these laws in Canada. So this is the reason why, as citizens, when there's a knife attack, this is the problem, all right? Especially when it comes to, like I said, a knife or a gun attack like this. People have to understand, this is why I say guns don't kill people, crazy people kill people. And the reason why I say that is because who's going to do a mass shooting? Who's going to do a mass stabbing? Someone that's deranged, someone that's crazy, someone that, more than half the time, people that use a gun use it in self defense. And what I mean self defense is when someone's trying to take your life, when someone robs you, tries to take what's yours, then yeah, you have the right to shoot them. Same thing as somebody tries to home invade you, you have the right to shoot them, right? Now, this is the difference that people understand. Criminals are destroying every single aspect of life. When they go and they just steal all this stuff, but a pair of fucking work boots, right? This is the problem. Because now we have to pay so much money for certain items because people steal them, right? People just steal them. Now they're locked buying stuff, locked buying glass. Thanks. Thanks to all the criminals that like to shoplift and steal everything. Thank you. Y'all made us pay more for everything, and y'all locked our stuff behind counter. So now we have to go and ask an employee. Good job. Way to go to the criminals, man. Way to go. Criminals that destroy everything. Yeah, society is weak because we allow criminals to walk all over us, right? And you know what? Again, Canada is suffering at significant numbers. And the only way Canada will ever get better is with America. America will make Canada great again. America is the only thing that's going to save Canada. Our Canadian dollar is worth 70 fucking cents. Ladies and gentlemen, make that make sense. 70 cents is the Canadian dollar to the American dollar. Again, when Stephen Harper was Prime Minister, That was 98 cents. Canada cannot do on its own. The reason why I say this is because look at California. California has 38 million people, right? Canada has about 41 million people, so nearly the same size amount of people, right? Close. Now, when it comes to saving Canada as its whole country, we don't have enough people to do that. Canada does not have enough as it is to save itself from what it's going through. And with our dollar at 70 cents, it's going to take an extremely long time to get back to where we're at one point. No matter how much trade deals we do, no matter how much resources we find to make dollars off of, no matter how many jobs we create, it's going to take Canada a long, long time to get back to the dollar that we once had. And the reason why I say that is because of how much failure Justin Trudeau and Cannibal Carney have done. And when I say America needs to save Canada, America has a much stronger dollar than us. They have a much stronger military than us, and they have a lot more advanced technology than we do, which means in every aspect of growing Canada could have. And also when it comes to safety, right? When it comes to people home invading you, when it comes to somebody robbing you. In America, you have a right to protect your life. You have a right to protect what's yours. In Canada, we don't have that. And this is why I say Canada's bad off, right? Is because we have so many problems in Canada, man. We have so many problems that we are facing. Like the media, right? The media here hide stuff. Remember that trans fucking tranny thing that shot up that school over in British Columbia, right? The elementary school. Yeah, the news media didn't want to say what it was, right? They hid it, right? Because that's what the news media does here. This is the problem with our government. These people are radicalized, all right? The left is pure evil. And let's not forget the left are the ones that created the KKK, right? The liberals, the Democrats. This is what they do. And in today's world, look how they're doing it. They're the ones that are about violence. Y'all notice this? Donald Trump has survived 7 assassination attempts. These liberals and Democrats are out of control. Their minds, all they think about is violence. When was the last time y'all heard a conservative or Republican assassinating somebody? Or when y'all last time you hear about them attacking somebody? You don't. You don't, right? But you always hear the left doing that. You always hear liberals and Democrats doing this kind of stuff because that's their mindset. This is how they are. And this is the problem when it comes to our society. These people are allowed in public, and they are extremely bad for society. What they do to our societies, our communities, how bad they destroy our country, no matter what country it is. We don't want socialists in our countries. We don't want communist bastards in our countries. We want freedom, we want liberty, and we want one nation under God. That's what we want. Ladies and gentlemen, when Canada becomes the 51st state, things will be perfect. Our dollar will be a lot stronger, and Canada will not suffer anymore. When you have half the country going to a food bank every month, right? Half the country of Canada is going to a food bank every month because our government has failed so miserably. Canada does not have a huge system. And the reason why I say this is because there's not a lot of entrepreneurs here, right? When you look at America, how many rich people are there? This is why I say the middle class and the lower class in America can actually strive, is because they have a lot of rich people there, and those rich people they have to give back to the system, right? So the system generates money for people that are less fortunate, right? Now in Canada, we don't have a lot of rich people like that here, right? Not even close to what America has. So in Canada, our dollar is worth a lot less, right? We don't have a lot of powerful people here. This is the problem with Canada. Our dollar is extremely weak. We barely have any jobs. We have crime at record fucking numbers. And there is no way to protect your life when you go through a situation in Canada, right? You can't. You simply can't. You will be arrested, right? Say if you shoot the individual that's attacking you, or you punch the guy or something, yeah, you'll get arrested for that, right? Because apparently you attacked the home invader, right? You attacked the robber. That is so ass backwards. Ladies and gentlemen, make it make sense. A robber attacks you. You fight back, and you get charged for fighting back against the robber. Right? That's Canada. Somebody home invades you in Canada, and you fight back against the home invader. Guess what? You're the one that gets charged in Canada. So you defend your house against a home invader, and you get charged for that. That's Canada. That is how bad things have become here. It means you literally can't even defend your life in any aspect in our country. If you defend your life, you'll get arrested for it. Yeah, that's Canada. Never understand how somebody can rob you in broad fucking daylight and you defend your fucking life and you're the one that gets arrested. If that's not ass backwards, then I don't know what is. I think that's one of the main problems that Canada suffers from is very weak leadership. Our leadership is extremely weak in this country. I mean, they've done a really bad job. They can't do a single thing to improve our country. Mark Carney is a devil in disguise. 100%. Devil in disguise. He's failed so miserably. And let's not forget, Justin Trudeau did stuff with a student. Well, he's a teacher. Remember that? Justin Trudeau was a drama teacher, substitute teacher, right? He did stuff with an underage student. And guess what? Did Justin Trudeau face any time for that? Did Justin Trudeau get his name ruined for that? No. Did the media slander Justin Trudeau for that? No, they didn't even talk about what he did, right? But if you're on the other side, oh, the media will slander you. And I mean slander you like you started World War III or something, right? Like you're hanging motherfuckers on the cross or something. That's what the media will do to you. They will literally slander you if you're not on the same side they are, right? And this is the thing I noticed about the left. Again, they're all about hatred, they're all about violence, and they don't stop, right? Their hypocrisy is so hilarious to see how fucking twisted these people really are. And the things they say about us, right? The things they say about us conservative Republicans, right? When we're the ones that want safety in our communities and cities, when we're the ones that want a better future for the youth, when we're the ones that want a clean community, no more drugs, no more crime, no more fraud, no more chaos, especially no more corruption. The Patriots want an easy way of life for everybody. And when you say illegal and legal, there's a difference, right? Illegal immigrants are the problem. Legal immigrants are welcome to be where they want. But if you're there illegally, you're not welcome. And again, every country has border laws. For some reason, people do not understand this, but every country in the world enforces border laws, no matter where it's at. But for some reason, if America or Canada do it, people get offended, right? People seem to riot over it. For what? People riot over nothing. That is the problem with people, right? They will riot over the most stupidest things. Then again, there's a reason why every country enforces a border law, right? It's because they don't want people coming in there and taking advantage of the system and doing stuff they're not supposed to be doing. The same thing as criminals, right? Law-abiding citizens don't get locked up. Criminals get locked up. Take it as illegal immigrants get deported. Legal immigrants get to stay there. That's the difference, right? If you're a legal immigrant in Canada or America or United Kingdom or any first world country, you're supposed to have a chance to experience the dream life, right? When you come there illegally, you're already a criminal as it is because you didn't go through the digital process system, right? There's a processing system where you have to adapt to the culture, you have to know English, and you have to understand the laws and the way of life and how the system works in a first world country. But when certain people come here, they don't understand that, right? And that's their problem, right? They come here and they take advantage of our system. People come here and they make $6,000 a month. $6,000 a month. While Canadians suffer. While Canadians can barely afford nothing. There's immigrants that come here and make 4 times the amount of money that citizens make. Right? I mean, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, right? Old age pension. Okay? Old age pension was $2,400 a month for old age citizens in Canada that worked long enough to get it, right? The old age pension is now 1,800. From 2,400 to 1,800. Do you know why? They took off $600 to give to migrant families, right? Migrant families are all going to get that extra $600 that old age people worked for. And that's Canada. So there's a reason why I say 51st state needs to happen. Because what's happening with Canada is absolutely sickening. It is. I mean, there's literally assisted suicide in Canada, and we are pushing this on the youth, right? They've pushed assisted suicide on the youth in Canada. That is fucking twisted. And there's been protests, and then there's riots, right? There's clearly a difference. And when you look at what's happening in Canada, these disgusting terrorists, the pro-Palestine, bunch of terrorist bastards that are blocking streets. They're allowed to do it for some reason, right? The police don't do nothing. Now, did y'all see what happened over in New Jersey? Over at Delaney Hall? Over in New Jersey, Delaney Hall, yeah, Palestine tried to get up and block the street there, and New Jersey State Police took care of them. They threw them off. They sprayed them in the face, and ICE police also got in there. Do you know the reason why, though? Because in America, they don't stand for that. They're not going to allow people to block the streets and nobody can get through, right? That is the reason why America is America. And Canada needs that. We need stronger authority in our country. Our authority is so weak in Canada. They are so weak. They don't even know their job. They don't know their job, man. Again, when you think about crime and chaos and just drugs, I mean, Canada is just suffering. And I mean, it's so bad here. It's so bad. I mean, I've seen so many people using drugs. And I mean, like, so many people have been using drugs all over the place here. And I just think, like, man, what the fuck happened? Honestly, when you think about it, why are we having drug use like this? This wasn't Canada growing up. The Canada I grew up in, we had problems as it is, right? But it was nowhere near as bad as what it is in today's world. When Stephen Harper was prime minister, Canada was booming. But when you elect bad leadership, this is what happens. But believe me, ladies and gentlemen, when Canada becomes the 51st state, things will be a lot better here. Our dollar will grow, we'll have safety for our citizens, and we'll have a lot more opportunity. Canada will be a lot better. And we're not going to deal with this corruption anymore. We're not going to deal with poverty and living hard anymore and not having opportunity and having people that come here and fraud our system make more money than us from the government, right? Because see, in America, the people that do that are facing consequences, right? The people that go there and scam the system and scam people are facing consequences in America. The people that scam other people in Canada are not facing those consequences. So, yeah, there's a huge difference when it comes to both. And that's the main reason why I say Canada needs a better future. And we ain't gonna have it with this government. The only thing that's gonna make Canada better is America. And when that 51st state does happen, ladies and gentlemen, just watch. It'll be much better. The 51st state will save Canada in every aspect: safety, the dollar, jobs, economic growth, better society. America is the land of opportunity, the land of the free, one nation under God. And that is something that Canada needs. Canada needs a stronger government. Mark Carney is literally the devil in disguise. He's lied so miserably, and we cannot do nothing to save ourselves from a government like this. This is why I say Canada needs America for a lot of reasons. I love Canada a lot, ladies and gentlemen. I do. But I know the only way Canada will get better is with the assistance of America. When we have the right to speak our mind freely and protect our life and love God and not get judged for who we are, then we'll be one nation that will love again. And that is the reason why I say America needs to save Canada. Because Canada cannot do on its own. They're suffering significant rates like we never seen before. And it's a serious problem, ladies and gentlemen, that a lot of people do not want to talk about, right? People don't want to see the problems that we're facing in Canada when it comes to the dollar collapsing, when it comes to massive drug use, when it comes to people staying here longer than with their visas and taking taxpayer dollars and not getting arrested for it. We don't ever talk about that kind of stuff, right? No, we don't. But then again, that's the reason why I said the 51st state will save Canada. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, the future is bright. And I mean brighter than ever. When we join forces with America, Canada will be great again. That is the promise that we can all look forward to. But like I said, we need America. We need America. We need America. And I don't know why criminals are allowed to do what they do here, right? I mean, they don't face any consequences at all. They don't. They get away with doing everything they do. And our government does not care to lock any people up. No, they let them back out at our cities, at our communities, and they'll terrorize innocent families and law-abiding citizens more. And they keep doing it. These people need to learn a lesson. You break the law, you break your hand. You do something severe, then we're gonna do something severe to you. That's how it should be. You know what I mean? These criminals should not be let to walk all over citizens. And the authority should show a lot more force to criminals than what they do. Because these criminals mock citizens and walk all over them like they're nothing. Because, one, our citizens can't fight back. And two, what's police gonna do? None. Absolutely nothing, right? No. We'll talk about other stuff, though, right? This is the reason why I say with Canada and America working together, Canada will grow into something it should. America will save the Canadian dollar. And that dollar of Canada, like I said, it's collapsing, ladies and gentlemen. It's collapsing. 70 cents. It's sad to say that. It really is. Because at one point, the Canadian dollar was very strong. But the government that we have here, look what they've done. Look what they've done. Mark Carney, devil in disguise. Like I said, he was partying with Jeffrey Epstein. Mark Carney was partying with Jeffrey Epstein. And the Epstein file is Mark Carney's name is mentioned. But we don't hear nothing about that from our news media, do we? Right? No, you have to go and search it and find it. But it's there. Go look up Epstein files and put Mark Carney in it. Right? Go on like where it says like documents, Epstein files. Go where it says search and then put Mark Carney and then hit search. And then watch it pops up. Whole amount of things about Mark Carney in the Epstein files. And yet our government is not held accountable. The news media does not question Mark Carney about any of that kind of stuff, which is very strange because the news media was so bent on trying to say Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that. But there's no evidence. There's no proof. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump was a businessman before he was a politician. And people do not understand this. Donald Trump is the one that reported Epstein Island to the police back in 2006. It was the Florida State Police he reported to. Yet Donald Trump is the one that saved a lot of people. Not the reason why the media does this. They do the same thing to anybody. If the media can't control somebody, or if you're not on the same team as what you're on with the media, then they're gonna slander you as much as they can. That's what they'll do. If you're not part of their agenda, they're gonna slander you. That's the left. You can't with these people. These people are insane. I mean, again, right now in Canada, we're seeing churches being burned. Right? Churches are being burned in Canada. Synagogues are being shot up. It's hatred. In China, they're banning the name Muhammad. And also, Islam is banned in China. They consider that a mental illness. And they're destroying all the mosques in China. Yeah, I wonder if the Muslims are going to go there and do what they do over here. I wonder if they're going to try to do that in China and watch what happens to them. Oh, that'd be hilarious. Because China won't tolerate that. If Muslims try to go there and enforce their stuff like how China's banning it, China will fuck those. They'll fuck them up, bro. China will start beating on some motherfuckers. Yeah, but I find it funny because if anywhere else in the world does that, oh man, that's just fascist. Oh, that's just toxic. Oh, that's just wrong. They're just beating on innocent people. No. When you literally go and break the law, like I said, peaceful protest. Peaceful protesting is standing on a sidewalk with a sign. That's a peaceful protest. When you are on the middle of the road and you're blocking everybody else from getting anywhere, then that is what you most likely call a riot. And these people keep doing it. And for some reason in Canada, they're not held accountable, right? And we've seen plenty of situations where the roads have been blocked in Canada. Plenty of them. To be honest, ladies and gentlemen, it's very sad. It's very sad. I mean, we've seen so many problems here. But Canada, it's a beautiful country, right? And like I said, when you listen to Tom McDonald's song, America, it even says it, right? So what he means is you can love your country and you can hate the government, right? And that's how a lot of us feel in Canada, right? Is we fucking hate our government, but we love what the country represents, right? And this is the reason why I say this. Because Canada is beautiful, but when it comes to our dollar, when it comes to growth, and when it comes to the future of our country, we struggle in making it better. And our dollar is very weak. We're at 70 cents American for the Canadian dollar. So this is the reason why I say Canada and America have to work together. Because our dollar is not strong enough. Canadian dollar is very weak. And I love Canada a lot. I mean, I'm someone that has albums and songs based off Canada, right? But when you look at just reality as it is, you'll see where I'm coming from. Canada is an amazing spot, and we love it a lot. But we don't want to see our country suffer anymore. And we don't want to have a weak dollar. A lot of people in Canada want to have the chance to live a good life, right? And it's very hard to live a good life when your country has a very weak dollar, right? We don't want to see Canada collapse. Canada is already in a recession as we speak, so it can get worse than that, and that's very worse. I mean, yeah, Canada needs to do better. I love Canada a lot, but when it comes to our economy, we're not growing. Our tourism, well, people don't want to see drugs. People don't want to be robbed anymore. They don't do what drug addicts all over the place. And again, there's so many problems in Canada that we just go on and on with. But then assisted suicide. That's, in my opinion, one of the most fucked up things that we have going on here. And nobody ever be held accountable for it, right? No. What they do here is they go and say, "Oh, I have this leg pain. Oh, I got this pain in my shoulder. Oh, we're gonna take your life." Yeah. There's a assisted suicide program in Canada called MAID. And the most fucked up thing about this is they push this on the youth, right? They push this on as young as people as 12 years old, right? Literally 12-year-olds get this assisted suicide pushed on them, right? And the Canadian government is selling the organs of the assisted suicide patients, right? Look it up. This is back in 2023. Assisted suicide is a thing in Canada called MAID. And basically, what it is say if you have pain in your body, the government is obligated to take your life, which means if the government wants to kill you, they can legally end your life. Yeah, that's where we're at in Canada, ladies and gentlemen. You'd never hear this when Stephen Harper was Prime Minister, right? Did y'all ever hear that? No. Stephen Harper will always be the best Prime Minister Canada ever had. That he was a real leader. He was a leader that was for the people. He was a leader that wanted better for society. And didn't want to see what was in front of him collapse. Like what is currently happening in today's world. Now the 51st state is the only thing that's going to save Canada. When it comes to a lot of the problems that we're facing, there's a lot of reasons why we need America. Well, when you have a government that lies to its people, when you have a government that is so corrupt in the things that they have done, the amount of abuse that they've done, how they can walk all over people, criticize who they want, and not face any questions or any scrutiny for the mistakes they've made. No, they just get away with everything, right? Like it's Hallelujah, Sunday on the beach, right? Just get away with everything. That's what our government is. Corrupt and evil. And they took an advantage of people for far too long. And that's the problem is there's so many weak people. There's so many people that are just weak-minded and just watch the news and listen to what the news tells them. And they're like, oh, that propaganda was so good. Well, I'm going to listen to it again. And when they do stuff like that, this is the reason why people become so brainwashed and so manipulated. Independent journalism is needed in the world. And the reason why I say it's needed is because it's not biased, right? When you have biased news media, you're going to manipulate a lot of people's thinking. And you control the way they think about stuff. When you have independent journalists, they're not one sided. They talk about every exact problem. And that right there makes you well more aware of what's going on compared to what the news media tells you, right? And that is the reason why independent journalism is a lot better than news media, higher up, government paid for journalism. Massive difference. Canada, we love you, but we are suffering. And the funniest thing, ladies and gentlemen, is there's some people that tried calling me a spy on TikTok, right? There's people saying that I'm a spy from America and that I'm spying on Canada. Well, that's pretty strange because I was born on Crawford Street, right? I was born December 17, 1999, Windsor, Ontario, on Crawford Street, right? But people are trying to call me an American spy on TikTok because I'm someone from Canada that loves America, right? Well, that's strange because there's a rapper named Tom MacDonald who's from Canada and loves America, right? There's a hockey legend who's a patriot of Canada named Don Cherry who loves America. So, ladies and gentlemen, Don Cherry loves America. Don Cherry respects Trump. And Don Cherry is a Canadian legend. Hello, how you doing there? Yo, what's up, Ed? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to Canada's economic growth, we are suffering really bad. And we in America more than ever. America will save the Canadian dollar. America will bring the glory days of Canada back. Because America is rising up as we speak, right? And Canada is suffering as we speak. Again, the Canadian dollar is at 70 cents. The American dollar is rising and rising and rising. while the Canadian dollar is lowering, lowering, lowering. You know why? Because of our government. Because Canada is failing, and our nation is suffering. And ladies and gentlemen, let's be honest. When you look at California, they have basically the same amount of people Canada has, right? California and Canada have the same population. And yet Canada cannot grow its country at all. When it comes to economic growth, when it comes to jobs, when it comes to bringing more tourism, Canada has a hard time doing this because we have an open drug policy. We have out of control crime where criminals do not face any consequences for what they do. And our citizens are not allowed to protect their life. Same as a tourist, right? If a tourist comes to Canada, they can't protect their life. In America, well, those tourists can protect their lives. But in Canada, they can't. Because Canada is a soft nation. Our government has allowed criminals to walk all over citizens. And ladies and gentlemen, we are sick and tired of it. We want better. And we're going to fight for better. The only way things will get better is waking people up to the problems. Because when you look at the United Kingdom, they're ahead of Canada. And what the American government is doing to the United Kingdom, they pressured the United Kingdom government. And that is the reason why their prime minister resigned, right? And this is what Mark Carney has to do. When America pressures Canada like this, and Mark Carney resigns, we'll either have Pierre Poilievre in office, or we'll have America take control. Now, me, I want America to take over Canada. America is going to save the United Kingdom because, like I said, England, Ireland, Scotland, the Welsh, they're all suffering from a lot of problems, and America is going to save them. And they're going to do the same thing to Canada right after they save the United Kingdom. America is the only nation that can save all the world's problems. And the reason why I say that is because America is the strongest nation in the world. When it comes to every aspect of life, America is strong for everything. And the rest of the world looks up to America. The rest of the world wants to be like America for a reason. Because America is number one. There's nothing like America. Now, Canada and America have to work together because Canada's economy is suffering. And we love America. And again, the real Canadian patriots love America. The real American patriots love Canada. We've always loved and respect each other because they're very similar to each other. That's why. Now we're gonna fight. We're gonna fight with everything we got. Now, I promise. When the future comes, ladies and gentlemen, things will be a lot better. When you have criminals that are walking all over citizens, the citizens have the right to stand up and fight back. Again, when it comes to home invasions, the matter of fact is criminals are allowed to break into people's houses and face no consequence. Because again, if you defend your house, you get arrested. Right? I remember reading this thing about a guy that had a Lamborghini, and he tried to defend his Lamborghini, and he successfully defended it, right, from the home invader. But for some reason, he got arrested for defending his Lamborghini, and that I'd say is the main problem with Canada. No self-defense right, which means criminals can break in your house and take whatever's yours, and if you stand up against them, you're the one that gets arrested. That's the reason why I say 51st state is needed more than ever. America will save Canada. And hopefully America can restore order in Canada like they're going to restore order in the United Kingdom. Because like I said, we're all suffering all over the world. And all of us want better. We're sick and tired of all of our governments lying and using this deception and misinformation and twisting up what the narrative is, right? Because that's what all the news media does, is they're paid from the government to twist the narrative and attack somebody that's not on the same side as they are, right? It's all bias. You can't trust the news media, especially when it comes to how biased they are, right? But they're paid to be like that because they all make a certain amount of money a year, and some of them put money over here, and they take money from this, take money from that, put some over there, and they'll attack somebody year round and accuse them of this BS and that with no evidence. And that is the problem with how society is, right? Because people are so weak. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to problems that we're facing, Canada doesn't have a lot of options. All right, we really don't. And me personally, I feel like America is the best option to go with Canada's future because the Canadian dollar, again, 70 cents, we're losing a lot of jobs to China, especially the automotive jobs. The Canadian dollar does not have a future. We're going broke. And it's sad to say that. It really is. Our dollar used to be so high, it used to be so big. But past 11 years with Justin Trudeau and Cannibal Carney, I said in the French accent because I talk like I eat garçon. I am a Frenchman. Yes, I got the mustache as a Frenchman. I talk with the accent. Yeah, I'm making fun of how Quebec talks, right? It's like I talk like from this spot and that, right? Yeah. It's so easy to talk with an accent. Like, I am from Toronto, man. Yeah. I go to Toronto and I get a coffee. I go wait in line. I say, hey, how you doing, bud? You want to go somewhere and drink a coffee and watch a hockey game? We can go to Toronto and do that. Because Toronto's that spot, bam. Yeah, bam. That's Toronto, right? The accent's fucking hilarious. Every spot in the world has its own accent to it, alright? But I think Toronto's is the fucking most hilarious one. The Toronto accent is so fucking broken. It sounds hilarious when you hear it. But, ladies and gentlemen, the point I want to make is when you look at the way we're suffering here and the problems that we are facing, there's not many solutions left for Canada. Not many at all. Except for the one, and that is America. Fuck yeah. That's who will save Canada. Because we need America. Fuck yeah. Right there, right? That's what we need. America is the only thing that's going to save Canada, ladies and gentlemen. Canada, we're suffering. People, wake up and realize your government wants to make you poor. Your government does not care about you. Mark Carney is doing everything he can to make other people in Canada suffer. Because that's what he wants. He wants people in Canada to suffer. He doesn't want to see Canada rise up. He wants to see Canada go very poor. When he took office, when Mark Carney took office, the Canadian dollar was worth 74 cents. The dollar's dropped 4 cents in 1 year, right? In 1 year since Mark Carney has been leader, the dollar has dropped 4 cents, ladies and gentlemen. Again, when Stephen Harper was Prime Minister of Canada, our dollar was 98 cents. Just think about that. Our leader is an absolute failure. It's an embarrassment that Canada has to suffer this bad. When at one point Canada was a very beautiful nation. But when you have a government that doesn't care for its country, when you have citizens that are so brainwashed in the media and believe whatever the government and the system tells them, this is what happens, right? This is how they control everybody. And this is why I say the only way Canada will ever get better is with America. Canada is in a recession. Only G7 country to be in a recession is Canada. And the reason why is because our government is a fucking failure. Canada needs America. We cannot do it on our own. Our dollar is worth 70 cents. Our citizens are suffering. And we have such high prices that a good 80% of Canadians cannot even afford anything. Right? This is the reason why half the country uses a food bank every month. So, keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Canada is suffering really bad. But like I said, when Canada joins forces with America, Canada will be a lot better. When Canada, yes, exactly. When Canada becomes the 51st state, it'll be a lot better than where we're at. Our dollar is suffering. It's getting lower and lower and lower. And sooner or later, Canada's going to be so broke. This country is going to go through a very, very bad time. All right? We're already going through a recession as it is. But we're going to go through something where we're going to collapse. All right? When our dollar, it's 50 cents American, which over time, it will happen. Right? We're at 74 cents when Mark Carney took office, and we're at 70 cents as we speak. So our dollar's lost 4% on it. It's the American dollar. So, yeah, massive problem with Mark Carney. Him and Justin Trudeau are who you blame for Canada looking like how it looks. The absolute horrible job they've done. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the 51st state is coming. And when America saves Canada, Canada will be a lot better than where it's at right now. And that's a promise, ladies and gentlemen. We don't want to suffer in Canada anymore. We don't want criminals walking all over citizens. We don't want to see innocent people be hurt anymore. We want the future of Canada to be brighter than ever. And again, America is the only thing that was there for Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, I love and care about you all. May God bless every single one of you watching. And just know on October 26th, I will make Windsor great again when I'm inaugurated in office to become next mayor of Windsor. I promise to make us the next New York. I'm glad y'all watching. I appreciate every single one of you. And just know, if you want to make a difference in life, you got to be the difference in life. It's that simple. But when you have a government that doesn't care for its people, the people have to fight back. And that is what we are doing. When America comes rolling through, Canada will be a lot better. Ladies and gentlemen, may God bless you. I love and care about you all. And just remember one last thing. My name is Tristan Tamaransi, and I'm going to make Windsor great again.